welcome to the Venus Project Seminar, 13 October 2013. This week's show will have two topics, the first being Filip Ivanov's marketing, and me, Shawn Hodgins, talking about cybernetics and robotics from a recording in November of 2012. Enjoy!
Hello everyone, and thank you for watching. My name is Filip Ivanov, and I'm a global administrator at the Venus Project. In this presentation, I'll be talking about marketing, since it is the tool for spreading awareness to large audiences for anything that is considered new. Firstly, I'll be talking about a marketing strategy that we can adopt in order to improve our exposure. Then I'll go into the separate projects, and finally I'll finish with what I think the marketing department should be all about. Judy Franks is the president of a company called The Marketing Democracy. She says, "We can't buy fans and we can't schedule our commercials into the consciousness of our fans. Rather, we must speak with clear intent and respect the boundaries of the relationship." I thought this fits quite nicely with what I'm going to talk about. Let's look at the marketing strategy. If we are asking ourselves the question, why would we need a strategy, then the answer can be found in the definition of the word. A strategy is a general, undetailed plan of action encompassing a long period of time to achieve a complicated goal. One of the first things I would like to talk about is the brand. By brand, I mean what people associate the Venus Project with. In time, people supporting the Venus Project might adopt the views and values of the organization, therefore transforming their habits into a completely new culture. The Venus Project brand should be associated with the application of science for human concern. Today, the application of science is mainly in the fields of research and commerce. The idea behind this approach is to present the fact that in a resource-based economy, science will be applied to determine what is the best for human beings in accordance with the environment surrounding them. Another point we could build upon is the emergence of a new culture, one where people are interested in learning new information about how the world works through scientific principles. We advertise the end result. In other words, the ability to understand your environment reduces your stress, lessens the chances of somebody lying to you, you accept the world and become more empathic, you receive the tools to help other people, etc. The brand itself is also like the personality of the organization. The same personality should be presented across all regions and languages. The Venus Project should not be viewed as a charity organization in one country and as a technocratic establishment in another. The personality should present the core aims of the organization, in other words, beyond politics, poverty, and war. The most major aspect of the brand around the Venus Project is the concept of a resource-based economy. With time, we will face great challenges, and when it comes to the ideology of a resource-based economy, compromises should not be made. Being borderless with respect to the marketing strategy is something very new and has been implemented in recent years by some of the biggest players on the commercial market. The information provided by the Venus Project is applicable to all people in all parts of the world, and it can change people's lives. I'm referring to people who have access to an average standard of living and others who already feel the need to change their value system, not the starving kids in Africa. Corporate identity must be consistent when content is being spread across all countries. It is vital that people involved understand the importance of the matter. Regular deviation from the norm is not necessary, as it takes much time for a brand to be accepted by the general population. Responses to scientific events that are considered of global importance, such as the jump from the edge of space by Felix Baumgartner, or the latest developments at the Large Hadron Collider in CERN, Switzerland, present the perfect opportunity for us to explain to the general population what the recreational activities within a resource-based economy might be. Irrespective of the title of this section, each region has its own development stage. The content provided should be in accordance with the development stage of that region, but still part of the global strategy. If people are not ready to hear about a resource-based economy, we provide general information until they're ready to absorb and understand more detailed information. When communicating our proposals to people, the message should carry the sound that what we're trying to accomplish affects everyone. This is something very important when we're trying to create and organize an empathic movement. The Venus Project does not only consider people without basic survival needs, or endangered species, or rights of homosexuals. We consider everyone. The internal hub is the outcome of the necessary communication between the marketing department and a specific team for a local region. It is not enough to outline a strategy and to ask people to adopt it. It is important that the individuals involved take part in the creation of the frame of activities and materials applicable to their particular region. Building a team is something that has to be approached in the most optimal way. Depending on the region, the usual scenario would be one person educating themselves and then educating others. Once there are enough educated people in a region, they can contribute in different activities in connection to the specific skills that each individual possesses. This can be done locally and at a global level depending on fluency of language and overall understanding of the subject. Once there is enough accumulated experience for different regions, conducting live meetings, visiting different locations to share experiences, and communication about how to manage a region might include some of the activities that supporters and volunteers in developed regions can undertake. Making sure that we don't put the cart before the horse, as the saying goes, is a vital part of the process if we want this strategy to produce optimal results. One of Jacques' quotes is to think global and act local. Materials that everyone uses should represent a global approach, but kept locally relevant in content. It is important to balance between global scale and local relevance. Major industries in the specific region, as well as the lifestyle of the people, must be taken into consideration when materials are produced. We have the opportunity to present global practices in a culture that lacks those practices to increase interest in futuristic concepts. For example, did you know campaigns presenting solutions for various regions? When something works in one place, it is best that we try to see if it will work somewhere else. Unifying all functioning procedures across all countries and introducing new ones where necessary provides the Venus Project with a stable global activist organization. No one is born an activist or anything else for that matter. Creating activists is something that requires systematic and dynamic communication. Only people who are truly interested in the Venus Project have the ability to talk to each other. Otherwise, they will end up talking at each other. It is important that we consider the reasons for having so many people supporting the Venus Project, but when they talk to one another, immediate disagreements prevent sensible discussions. Knowing the different aspects of the global strategy, we can combine the global and local approaches to determine how to reach people in professional fields. Those people value their time and would be interested in a challenge as long as there is one for them to base their work upon. By going through an educational program and helping people change their values, we would be automatically creating activists that would produce numerous materials such as documentaries, case studies, and success stories. Now I would like to discuss the official projects of the marketing department. I will try to be more specific and present how the global marketing strategy can be implemented with respect to official projects. Internet presence is important, but for now it has to be kept at a minimum with respect to social networks. We can use the social networks in a variety of ways to cause much stronger and more appropriate effects. Once you have a profile on Facebook, you can also create a page and link it to your profile. Join the two and restrict the ability for people to comment on your posts. In this way, you virtually get a blog of your own personal expressions. If you add many scientific groups to your profile and like similar pages too, your newsfeed will be filled with scientific articles that you can easily share on your page or profile. Google Plus is an excellent platform for delivering information. For example, by creating circles and adding people to different ones, it becomes easier for one to manage the content of information that each group of people is receiving. The character limit on Twitter provides us with a great opportunity to share quotes from the books in the recommended reading list therefore generating interest for those books to be read. The Marketing Media Project has been created for the purpose of developing professional marketing materials for targeted promotional campaigns globally. When creating marketing materials, one has to consider that the final product should have a professional look and feel. The promotional campaigns need to resemble the products of top marketing agencies. When creating materials for campaigns, one has to consider what types of media are applicable for a specific campaign. The format and delivery of the campaign, in addition to the methods of advertising, have to be in accordance with the global marketing strategy. One of our strongest points is that we're promoting awareness for a global civilization, something that almost all other organizations lack. We should be in the business of communicating the idea of a different vision for the future. Under the technology category on the main website, the sections City Systems, Cities in the Sea, Energy and all others can be used as tools to produce a variety of futuristic presentations in various formats. Articles that present solutions based on such information is just one idea. The Media Relations Project aims to create press releases to reach out to potential supporters within the film, TV, radio and music industry. If done in a professional manner, the Venus Project would get exposure to different channels, therefore reaching even larger groups of people. One of the first things that should be done is specifying the types of approaches towards media outlets. These approaches should be considered globally as well as for each individual region due to cultural differences. An example of a task for all supporters would be to create lists with contact details of various national media channels for specific regions. Once gathered, this information can be used by the marketing department to contact these media outlets with press kits specifically designed for that region. The main aim is to get an online introduction interview with Jacques and Roxanne. This is very important for every country so that the brand of the Venus Project is represented by the founders themselves. In time, people may gain the necessary presentation and speaker abilities, but for now, Jacques and Roxanne are the most appropriate choices for such an exposure. The Events Organization Project includes developing strategies for promotional events locally, regionally and globally to reach out to potential partnership organizations from the field of applied sciences that may be interested in supporting, contributing or funding these events. Another long-term task would be the development of the Venus Project Global Awareness Day. Much discussion is needed about the format of such a global event in order for all people involved to produce highly professional presentations. The process starts with supporters filling out an application form for a local event. It is vital for the marketing department to consider the format of the event and to try to estimate the chances of something going wrong, therefore preventing it by alarming the party conducting the event. After the event, supporters are encouraged to produce a report for statistical purposes. This would be forwarded to the marketing department as basic information about the people who came to the event. Lastly, I would like to say what is the overall purpose of the marketing department. It is concerned with developing professional marketing materials as well as a variety of promotional campaigns to promote the Venus Project to social, scientific and technical organizations, universities and governments around the world. There are some key phrases that I'd like to emphasize. One would be the development of professional marketing materials. This means that the final product needs to be at a very high professional level. Another is the promotion of the Venus Project to social, scientific and technical organizations, universities and governments around the world. This has not begun yet, and it would be good for us to prepare ourselves before we take on this task. Finally, I would like to finish with the fact that it would take much time for such an extensive organization to be created within the marketing department. I would like to stress that the individuals who take on these tasks should have a very high degree of knowledge about what the Venus Project is, in order for them to perform their duties in an optimal manner. With this, I would like to conclude my presentation. Thank you very much for your time.
All right, next question is, can you name areas where robotic systems will be applied? It would be basically agriculture. Agriculture is a very big one. To free up humans from the laborious tasks of planting food, harvesting the food, forecasting where to grow it, how much to grow, all this stuff, all of it can be replaced by cybernetic systems with robotics and programs. Another one would be the surgeries. We can forecast that more accurate surgeries, a higher percentage of successful surgeries would occur, of course, after some trial with the computer systems. Any area can actually be replaced by robotics, and any area that we desire to free ourselves from doing those tasks, I think we can figure out a way to do it. Okay, so the next question is, do you think that the current state of robotic technology reflects your vision of a cybernetic society? Quick answer is no. No, it doesn't. We can advance in many different areas where we do not right now. In fact, there are many areas where we could be advancing in technology, but we keep the current state of technology the same so we can maintain employment. Employment is important for consumerism because you have to have the cycle of an employee attaining money so that they can then spend that money back into the system. And if you did do the replacement of those employees with automated systems, yes, your productivity would go up, but your sales would go down because there'd be nobody to buy it. There'd be no purchasing power. So that is a big factor in today's society. We are actually hindering our own advancement by the need for consumerism. And that is a true crime against humanity. Next question. How far into the future do you see the transition to a cybernetic society? Well, this is based on how much education we're able to do to get the human race to the level of awareness that we need to make this change. It's a value shift. And I'll steal from Jacques Fresco right now and say, if you do nothing, if you do nothing, nothing will happen. And that is not just a phrase. It is the exact truth. So there's a lot of education to be done for yourself and for everybody on Earth. We have to educate ourselves and each other to a much higher level of understanding of how the systems on Earth work, and understand what is relevant information and what is not relevant information. But how far into the future do we see a transition to a cybernetic society? I have no idea. The faster the better, because this will free up humans to be doing things that they would like to be doing. There would not be the need for slavery into slave wage jobs. Overall, like lifestyles and standard of livings will go up immensely. I mean, there's just a very long list of positive outcomes to a cybernetic society. But along with that, we want to also assist each other in increasing our value system. If tomorrow we woke up in a cybernetic society, but we still had the same mindset that we do today, we would still be having wars. We would still be going after each other. We would still be wanting property and the hoarding and all of the detrimental effects that we still have in our brains today. Those things need to change. We need to see each other as equal on this earth. Everybody, every single human on earth is equal. And these facades where there's individuals that are higher level or more deserving, or somebody like God is shining their trust down on this person, these things are not true. They are far from true. They are lies that either you are telling yourself or that other people have taught you to tell yourself. And we really have to get past all these problems and increase our values, because the technology alone is not going to do it. We need to do it twofold. We need to increase the technology, apply the technology for the benefit of all humans, and also change our own personal values to a much higher level. And there's many values to be changed there, but the values of capitalism, of ownership, of property, of ego, that you are deserving or better than another individual on Earth across the planet. Somehow we are blessed and they are not. This is wrong. This is absolutely wrong. And we can surpass this. But so I wanted to get across the point that not only does Cybernation need to come about to assist humans in being more free, and also to raise the production level of the basic necessities of life, which are, fresh air, clean water, agriculture, food, shelter, housing, and a decent education, a relevant education. These are the necessities of life for every human on Earth. The only way you're going to accomplish that for 7 billion people is to increase efficiency across the board. And that's what you'll see in a lot of the designs from Jacques Fresco and the Venus Project. They might not be very pretty to the eyes to see, but they're absolutely as efficient as possible so we can take care of the base necessities of life. And once we are able to do that, we can reassess and remeasure all the resources on Earth, and we can adjust the standard of living for everybody on Earth up in accordance with the carrying capacity of Earth. So that's the idea. Again, I'll restate, how fast is this going to happen? It's going to happen as fast as we educate ourselves and we change our value system. And I point at the responsibility on all of us, myself and yourself, everybody watching. Next question is, do you see any dangers in the development of artificial intelligence? This one's a tough one. Basically, the programming and the development of artificial intelligence has to do with the programmers and their value system. The scientists or programmers or developers that are making this artificial intelligence, their value system is what we have to consider. The artificial intelligence itself, no worries there. But the persons who are programming that, if they have a detrimental value system of today, where they have some sort of dogma or hatred of one group or another, you wouldn't want this person designing some sort of artificial intelligence. That's what I'm talking about with a value shift, a value change. You wouldn't want somebody from the KKK to be designing artificial intelligence, because they will be biased towards making this artificial intelligence not like this race or that race. So no, we would not, do not worry about artificial intelligence itself. Worry about people and their value system. Next question. What will people do if robots will do all the work? And this basically for me is a question about incentive. What will people do when they don't have to do anything? Will people just sit around in their homes and play video games? Will they go around just messing things up? And the idea is that no, they won't. Now, as far as the transition, we don't know how long it will be. We don't know how long it will take for people's values to improve to the point where they won't be detrimental to society. So there's no need for it. But unfortunately, we have the value system that we have today, and it might take a couple generations to rid ourselves of the irrelevant values that are contained within our system. So what will they do if they don't have to work? They will do what they want to do. The answer to this question is really, what do you want to do? And is the answer to that question not detrimental to another human on the earth? And that it's very simple. People, if you like music, if you want to master a musical instrument, you will do that. When you don't have to worry about feeding yourself each day, or sheltering yourself, or access to clean air, water, food, education, then you will be free to do that which you want to do. And motivation and incentive is actually very misunderstood in today's society. Capitalism and money, we push motivation towards people, the acquirement of money, so therefore you can acquire resources, which are basically shelter, food, air, water, and even more than that because of scarcity or perceived scarcity. When that is taken out of the equation, the motivations of individuals is not necessarily towards the acquisition of things, the ownership of this. I want 1,000 jet airplanes. That is not motivating to people. What is motivating to people is mastery of a craft or exploration. And if you think about that, that is a complete divergence off what we were taught today in the mass media. So mastery is a very, very high level of a motivation. So people would focus on an endeavor or many endeavors, becoming generalists in many areas. And if you focus on something like educating yourself as a generalist, that's the rest of your life. Your life is full. You will never finish that. It's a fantastic endeavor, but it will occupy the rest of your life. If you are focused on exploring the universe, that is an amazing endeavor, and you will be occupied for as long as you want to be occupied in it, and becoming a master in those areas. If you want to master a musical instrument, you can do that. If you want to, improve the cybernetic systems on Earth, you can work on that, and there will be a direct relation as a human to the standards of living on Earth. So we will actually be incentivized to improve the current systems, improve the cities, improve the systems that have to do with our irrigation or plumbing or electrical or transportation. We will be incentivized to continually improve that stuff while staying within the carrying capacity of Earth. So there will be plenty to do. And for those people during the transition, while the value systems are not necessarily as high as we would like them to be, if they want to play video games, they'll play video games. And I remember Jacques Fresco talking one situation where we'll be able to create things where even the laziest person will have to do a task to get to what they want. If they want to play a video game, the video game that they get, they'll have to construct it. They'll have to piece it together. They'll have to maybe program it. These type of incentives to get them going. But if you have basically a person from the first day of education or the first level of education that they're at, you can instill in them incentive to do different things. So, all right, that's it. And thank you for giving me the opportunity to answer these questions. And I welcome you to visit thevenusproject.com and send questions to admin@thevenusproject.com. And watch us on YouTube at youtube.com/TVP Education. And thanks a lot. See you later.